Hi Aquarius, Trishna here. Welcome to your December 2019 love reading. So what we're going to be doing in this reading is it's mostly going to be a tarot reading. Before we get into that, I'm going to share the intuitive insights I've picked up on. Then I'm going to shuffle the deck, pull some cards out, and I'm going to show you the cards and we'll walk through each one for this video and conclude with that tarot reading. So what I'm feeling for you, Aquarius, is I feel like you're feeling pretty good about your relationships. If you are currently in a relationship, you feel good about it. If you're not in a relationship, you feel good about all the other relationships in your life, your family relationships, your friendship relationships, maybe even your colleague work relationships. You feel good about the overall relationship area of your life. Now, for those of you who are in relationships, I feel like this is good, but I feel like that kind of ends around the end of December, and I feel like the first 6 months of 2020, so January to through the end of June, is going to be really difficult for your relationship, and you really need to plan in advance, have a plan of action in advance so that you can make it as positive as possible given the situation. I feel like the thing that's going to happen is that next year there's going to be something that changes in your life. So maybe there's something that happens in your career, and whatever that change is, I feel like it's going to affect you and how present you are in the relationship. So if this is a work situation, you may be taking on a new job, you may have a new boss, you may have to travel more. I feel this sense of distance, so you may be traveling more, so you're physically more distant, or maybe emotionally it's just that there is going to be more distance, and you're going to be very, very busy. And basically, whatever this area of your life is, we're going to go with career since that's how it's being shown to me. Whatever area, so let's say career is what ends up taking you away from your relationship. Essentially, what's going to happen is your partner is going to be left to hold down the fort. So if you have kids, they're going to be the ones that are basically taking care of the kids almost entirely on their own, because for some reason, whether it's because you are physically away due to travel or because emotionally you're very distant, you're not able to be present, you're just not going to be very involved. You're going to leave them to kind of have to handle everything all by themselves. And I feel like your partner is going to try to be very supportive, and so they're not going to mention that this is an issue. But it is going to be an issue, and it can really, your partner is going to stay. This is not going to bring an end to your relationship, but it's going to make it extremely difficult, extremely stressful, and there is going to be some loss of trust as a result unless you plan in advance for the 6 months to make it as positive as possible. So what you need to do is your partner is not going to speak up about the stresses that are going on because they're going to try to be very supportive, or maybe they just try to handle things by themselves as best as they can because they don't really want to burden you. And so they're not going to open up on their own. And you're also going to be distant. So what you need to do is right now, before the end of the year comes, you need to plan how you're going to handle each month for the next 6 months. You need to make sure that you have at least one date night planned for your partner where the two of you are going out and doing something fun. And the reason for that is, one, that is you trying to be present given your situation and showing them that even though you may not be able to be there as much, whether that's physically or emotionally, that you do really care and you are trying your best and you are carving out time. One day in a month really is not that much, so again, there is still going to be stress, but if that's all that you can do, then that's what you should do. There should be at least one every month, so you need to be planning 6 dates before the end of December. You do one each month for the next 6 months, for the first 6 months of January. The other really important part of this is that your partner, again, is not going to speak up to you. That's why you need to have these dates, because that gives you an opportunity to help them open up and communicate about how they're feeling and what's going on. Now, you may think sometimes as the year goes on that, you know what, it would be better if I didn't know their stress, because when I don't know it, I don't have their stress on top of my stress and things are just better for me. But the thing is that, like, this is your partner and they are here doing their best to support you, and you need to give them that outlet to be able to express themselves, and that's going to do a lot more for your relationship than letting them keep whatever's going on with them to themselves in the long run. Like, that's going to create some serious trust issues in the long term. So helping them open up is really going to build a relationship, and again, give you guys an opportunity to connect with each other and for you to show them that you care even though you can't be present most of the time. So this is extremely, extremely important. I also feel like there may be something going on in your career, maybe not in the first 3 months, but towards the next 3 months of that 6 month period, the January to June period. I feel like There may be something in your career that you aren't able to share with your partner. Like there's something that happens that maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing with your partner because you don't want them to worry, or maybe you feel a little bit ashamed of maybe a move that you've made. Somebody has forced you to do something that maybe you don't feel good about. I feel like there's something there, and that's something for you to be aware of, and you do need to trust in your partner, and you do need to include them in on that journey because they are your partner, and that is a way of showing love. When you share your struggles and maybe some things that you're not proud of that you're doing, and you consult with them maybe to get some advice or just to talk to somebody, that is building trust. That's really deep trust that you're building there, and that can make up a lot for this January to June period where your career or whatever area of your life changes you as a person in this relationship and makes you more distant. So I know you're feeling really good, Aquarius. I'm really happy for that. I live it up, enjoy it, and use that positive, energetic feeling and momentum to plan some really fun dates for the next 6 months with your partner. And just know that you can be successful in this relationship. You just have to plan ahead. And this whole career situation is a little bit out of your control. I mean, of course, you can always change jobs, but I just feel like for some reason, this is your journey right now. This is where the choice that you're going to make. So I understand that. Your partner will understand that, but do what you can to make this relationship as successful as possible given the situation that you're in. All right, Aquarius, that concludes the intuitive portion of this reading. So now I'm going to shuffle a deck, pull some cards, show you the cards. I'm going to go through them for the tarot portion of your December 2019 love reading. All right, Aquarius, so I shuffled a deck, I pulled some cards out, and we're basically in this video going to talk about the 6 cards up here, and then in the extended, we're going to cover the last 6 cards at the bottom and pull any clarifying cards from the deck as needed. So for the cards we're going to talk about in this video, we have the Ace of Swords, the Chariot, the Devil, Death, the Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So what I'm seeing here is with the Ace of Swords, I feel like this is your energy currently right now. I feel like you feel really good in your relationship like we're talking about, and you feel really good about this other area of your life. Maybe it's your career, and you're really excited about the next year and your relationship in the next year and your career in the next year. You feel like you have a lot to celebrate both in your relationship and your career, and you really want to live that up. You really want to enjoy that. I feel like you do know what I'm talking about. If this reading has been resonating with you, I feel like you do know that the next year in your career can be difficult. There can be some things that you may not feel proud of doing. You're aware of that, but you really don't want to focus on that, and you also aren't currently in a position where you want to seek help on that from your partner, because you see yourself with the Chariot card as somebody who you see yourself, or you want to be somebody who is very clear-minded, practical, who can handle his or her own problems, who is responsible, who can take care of situations, who has it together, who knows what they're doing. That's how you see yourself, and that's how you want to be seen, and that's how you want to see yourself. And so even though you know that there are problems coming up, you don't really want to focus on them because you feel like, you know what, I can handle it. I can handle this whole situation. I don't need to worry about it. It's not a big deal. I've got this all under control. And again, like I was saying in the insight portion of this video, it's really important that you do have a plan. It's really important that you understand that there are going to be some things that aren't under your control. That's life. And if you don't have a plan for them, if you don't work with your partner and pull them in and consult with them, or just have them hear you out and listen to what's going on with you, and you do the same for them, you are going to be met with a lot of sadness in the end. But if you do consult with them, if you do include them in your journey, there will be a lot of happiness to come, and the two of you can overcome anything and can actually become stronger as a result once all of this is over. Now, the Devil card represents, again, your career, and there being some things that you are maybe asked to do that you don't feel very good about doing, that maybe aren't really right, and you will feel like you need to do it because of peer pressure. I don't feel like you will be forced to do anything, but it will be a peer pressure type of situation, and you'll kind of get lost in the situation and in the job, and you'll end up, again, doing things that you're not proud of later. And so I feel like that is going to result into this kind of death scenario in your relationship. Again, I don't see the two of you and your partner coming to an end, but I do feel like there is a level of death still in the situation where you have changed, you are doing something different, you are having to hide some things, you are doing things that you're not entirely proud of, and that creates kind of this this energy where your partner is here wanting you to come home, wanting you to be more present, wanting to support you in every way possible, but you are very slow to want to be around them. You're creating a distance with them. You're not really engaging with them because you don't feel good. You don't feel good about what you've done. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about your situation, and that makes you want to run a little bit. It makes you want to avoid your partner because you don't want to have to face that side of yourself. Like, even if you don't share that with them and you're with them, you can't help but think of like, who have I become? And that makes you not want to be around your partner. But again, it's really, really important that you are around your partner, because otherwise you will be dealing with this 10 of Wands card all by yourself. This is somebody who has a lot of burdens to carry. This person's even showing a little bit of shame. But basically, there's a lot of burdens that you have that you're having to carry. And if you want to put them down, you have to share with your partner. You have to include them on this journey. And the other thing is like, you have these burdens that you're carrying, but so does your partner. Your partner's holding down the fort, holding down the rest of your family and your life together while you're off. They have burdens too, and neither one of you is sharing those burdens with each other. And so you're not working as a team, you're not helping each other, and you're both suffering, but you're suffering separately, and you're suffering in silence, both of you. So open up, talk to each other, share your burdens, even though the amount of burden is the same. If you both have burdens and you're sharing them like half and half, at least you're helping each other. At least you're both involved in this together. At least you feel like you have a buddy with you throughout this process. So make sure that you share your burdens and that you let them open up so they can share their burdens with you as well. When you share yours, they will share theirs, and you two can overcome all of this together. You're a very strong partnership. Again, I don't see an ending for you, so work together. And this Wheel of Fortune tends to be fate kind of coming in and turning the events of things into your favor. I feel like you, though, in this situation, need to create your own Wheel of Fortune, your own twist of fate together as a partnership. So if you guys need to communicate long distance, then email each other, send each other messages, communicate in letters, find some way to build that bond with each other and to really help each other through this stressful period of your lives. And if you guys need something to connect the two of you together, then pick a book together. Do your own little 2-person book club where you're reading the same things and you're able to talk about that. If you don't want to talk about your work and what you're stressed about, then have a book that you two are reading where you can talk about that instead, and they understand that like you're still trying to be present in the way that you can, and you're still trying to communicate with them by talking about this book because you don't want to talk about work. And I feel like they can understand that on some level. And, if another option is do counseling together whenever you are present or whenever you are in town, do counseling together. Meet up twice a month with a counselor together, or maybe once a month, and turn your fate around by working on your relationship. Because everything else doesn't matter. As long as the two of you two are together and working together and facing the world together, it's you and I, baby. That's your relationship, the two of you against the world. So to change your fate for the positive, you have to be you and I against the world. You can't just be me against the world by myself while you're against the world by yourself, and we just happen to live together and talk to each other, and once upon a time used to enjoy each other's company. So you have a really strong relationship. Don't let external forces change that or change your view on that. You have a strong relationship. Don't let anything come between that fact. Don't let anything come between you knowing that you have a strong relationship. Don't let anything convince you otherwise. And if you do that, you will actually come out stronger in this relationship after the 6 months. It may not happen right after the 6 months, but maybe 9 months into 2020, so around September, your bond will be stronger, will be built. And sometimes it takes struggle to create that deeper relationship with somebody because you're working together on a very difficult part of your journey, and they become a part of you on that journey and you a part of them. So I hope you take my advice, Aquarius. If this resonates, obviously, if this doesn't resonate, it's not your reading. But if it does resonate, I really hope you take this advice and don't be afraid. Don't feel like you have to be the strong one who can handle everything on their own, like the Chariot. Don't be afraid. Open up to them and be brave by opening up to them. And It's good to celebrate your job. It's good to celebrate where you are in the relationship. But again, use this positive momentum of celebration to also plan your next 6 months with your partner and doing dates with them and making sure that you're present as much as possible. And don't hide from them. Don't do this death card where you don't want to face yourself, so you don't want to face them either. And if you really don't want to face a situation with them, then use the Wheel of Fortune. Do counseling, write each other letters, read a book together, and talk about the book instead of the problems. And if you can avoid the devil, even better. If you can avoid that, I don't know that you will feel like you can because of the peer pressure. But obviously, if you can avoid it, do that. Okay, so that concludes the YouTube portion of this video. If you're interested in the extended, these are the cards that we'll be talking about. This is the Four of Wands. It's a positive card. The Eight of Swords, the Justice card, the Moon card, the Magician, another positive card, and the Knight of Swords. So if you're interested in the extended, we'll be talking about that. You can access the video at www.patreon.com/Trishna. The link will be in the description box and also at the very end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and enjoy your December. It's well deserved. You've obviously had some success in your relationship and your career, and I will see you in 2020, Aquarius.